Fox 13 presents Hope for the Holidays.
Welcome back to Hope for the Holidays as we celebrate and highlight people and organizations doing incredible work to lift up others right here in Western Washington. I'm Matt Lorch. You know, for many of us, the holidays are a time for gratitude, a time to be thankful for what we do have as we prepare for a new year, new opportunities, and new adventures. For some local families, 2021 was their most difficult year. It's the year they lost their home. Well, thankfully, Mary's Place, a nonprofit that offers shelter and services for women, children, and families, is also providing those people a path forward out of homelessness.
Who wants to go shopping? You get to shop for free. Go at it. Pick some things out. Hold it up there. You think that's a good one?
Hey, buddy.
Mom, this is the good one?
What do you think? We think you might like these. Let's try them. See if they fit. Oh, girl. Come on, just a little more. Cinderella, Cinderella.
At Mary's Place,
I love those.
I do too. These are really cute.
parents Asia and Robert prepare for the day,
She wants a costume.
thankful their young kids are getting some new clothes.
Those are cool.
That's a big.
This is a blessing. This helped us out tremendously. I couldn't thank them enough.
The last thing I want is to say, like, I live in a homeless shelter, you know? And then we get here and it's nothing like we were expecting.
We're grateful for what we got.
Robert worked in the service industry until he was laid off.
We don't own a vehicle up here, you know, so living day to day in a hotel and not knowing whether or not we'd be able to pay for another night. It's like, well, if we can't pay for a night, like, what are we gonna do?
Bobby wants to fit.
And how they'd care for Riley, who's 4 years old, Avery, who's 3, 2-year-old Rowan, Marley, 9 months, and a baby on the way.
You know, with 4 going on 5 kids, that costs a lot. It's, you know, just with one child in daycare.
What was the hardest? It was just, you know, being a father and not being able to, you know, take care of your own like how you want to. It takes a toll on you, you know. And how I live is day to day. You know, I try to look at it as, you know, one foot in front of the other.
Mary's Place has freed them up to focus on getting a new place by supporting their daily needs.
Not even with just childcare, but also healthcare, transportation, housing, all of it. Like, there's no stress on our shoulders like there was before. You know, we could focus on just one thing and not have to worry about, oh yeah, we have this and this and this and this and this also.
This is allowing us to move on and you know, take steps into where we want to go and how we want our family to be.
Sometimes it's like this. Just be at peace.
Being here, we can start looking past, you know, tomorrow. You know, that's what we're grateful for. We're thankful.
Thankful for the team at Mary's Place,
What do you think? You like Spider-Man?
including Executive Director Marty Hartman,
How about these?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
who in many ways is the compassionate engine
And there's some green shoes in there. Wow.
driving the nonprofit's mission.
The need is overwhelming and staggering. The rate at which families are losing their homes is higher than we have seen for many years.
Daddy died. Daddy died.
It's heart-wrenching, right? Nobody wants to see a family or a child outside or in a stroller or a newborn baby snuggled going into a tent when it's 32 degrees at night.
What did the pandemic do for families who were on the brink economically?
It broke them. Simply a job loss. Having to stay home and choose between your child getting an education and you going to work.
Hey, it's all right.
In many cases, they didn't have a choice. Their jobs were eliminated. And so it was the breaking point. Mary's Place operates the King County Family Shelter Intake Line. 24 families called the line last night. 3 families made it into shelter. We must do better.
That means for those 21 other families, there's just not room for them in local shelters?
There's no room at the inn.
You okay?
You okay? High five, high five.
Many people would think government funds these programs. What's the reality?
The reality is there's a huge void and a huge gap for funding available for families experiencing homelessness. And if it wasn't for our community, we wouldn't be able to have the 500 beds that we have tonight.
Hey, come on. I got you, I got you, I got you, it's okay.
As our community has responded and rallied around these families, that is what has allowed us to scale, to grow the number of shelter beds, to provide more prevention resources, and to make sure that we have that move-in assistance available to help families when they need it most.
That's the most important thing. And through everything, we got each other.
Say cheese!
That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us going.
It gets better one family at a time, right? And we have to work together to make sure that no child sleeps outside.
That work to bring children inside often begins
Okay, hold on 1 second, please.
with a phone call.
Well, come on in. Let me show you what we do here. This is the call center. This is where everything happens.
Sherry Tillman and others screen families in crisis,
Good morning. Thanks for calling King County Emergency Family Intake Line. How can I help you?
calling from throughout King County.
We do know that it is getting, the weather is getting colder, so there are families that are in their car. There's families that are outside, you know, sleeping in alleys. All right, thanks for holding. Let me get your last name. And how long have you been homeless? A lot of time when domestic violence families call in, they don't have a plan. You know, it's that I got to get out of here.
With the state, federal, and city eviction moratoriums expiring, ending a protection which shielded renters from losing their homes during the pandemic, more families are on the streets.
Now, it's just you and the kids. There's no partner or anything.
And there just isn't enough space at the 6 shelters operated by Mary's Place or others in the county.
If you do not get a call back today, that means that there were no openings. We can have probably like 30 to 40 families on a list, but maybe only 3 openings a day. So it is really hard. And that's the difficult part of my job, is to have to say, you know, I'm sorry, we may not have anything tonight. You would have to call back tomorrow. Because, you know, it's hard. These families are outside, you know. And if there's any openings, do I have your verbal permission to do a background check?
For Sherry,
All right, and what's your date of birth?
this work is personal.
I was homeless, me and my kids, probably for about 3 to 4 years. Tomorrow's not promised. Anybody can end up in that situation. And, you know, don't judge people, because everybody, you know what I'm saying, you don't know their story. So I know what it's like. So when families call in, I feel it, I get it, you know, so I'm trying to be able to help them and get them into something.
Helping those families often requires paying a visit.
I don't know what I would do with an office job now.
That's Ryan Dish Guzman.
It's always walking everywhere.
Walking everywhere while running the outreach team at Mary's Place, a group that responds to calls and goes to the places where homeless people are living.
The most jarring is when you see, you know, our clients who are pregnant and like about to give birth, and they're unsheltered and homeless, and that's heartbreaking, because knowing that like babies are born on the streets in this city, like one of the richest cities in the world, that's heartbreaking. When we come out to, if let's say it's an encampment, like used to be an encampment here, we'll work with other outreach providers in the city to make sure that when we're entering in like a respectful way. So we'll walk up to the tent. You know, typically when you go to someone's house, you knock on their door. You do something similar, and it's at a tent. You know, you knock on the tent, and you say hi, like we're with Mary's Place. Can we talk to you for a minute? We ask where we can sit down. We treat it like we're in somebody's living room, and we sit and we talk with them about what their needs are. Slowly build trust, and before we start asking, you know, them more serious questions about their vulnerabilities, what their needs are, that type of thing. We're working with just as many families outside of shelter as are in shelter, because not all families can get in because we don't have enough shelter beds. And so that is a really difficult conversation to have. But what our specialists do is they sit there with that family and make sure that they have some type of solution and some type of solution that's being worked towards if it can't be shelter at that time. That is the ultimate goal here, is to make sure that we are in a community that cares for its children, cares for its families, and is loving towards one another.
Yeah.
Nowhere is that love more apparent
Yeah, you got some knives.
than at the Program Center for Children at Mary's Place Shelters,
So this is Kids Club.
known around here as Kids Club.
When it comes to the kids, you know, a lot of times really what they need is just a place to feel like a kid again. Well, can the dinosaurs come to our party?
Yeah.
They're invited. I do this because I love it and I love the kids. Keeps us coming back every day. Just